Hello. I'm starting a new series on music theory for ukulele. Um, First off, I want to tell you that there's no theory in music theory, so don't be frightened by the term. Everything about music theory, at least 99% of it, is all about naming stuff and organizing stuff. And so I'll try to point those out to you. Um, Also, I try to keep all my music theory notes practical. They may not be obviously practical now, but they will. It'll be more and more practical as we advance, and I'll show you. I'll take a lot of opportunities to show you why later. So first off, I want to talk about something called the chromatic scale, and chromatic is just a vocabulary word that means it goes in order, numerical order or alphabetical order, if you will. The other, you already know about scale. Scales just refers to the notes that we use. We use A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and all the sharps and flats in between. So let's take a look at, here's your fretboard, and I'm going to show you a chart that's aligned in the same orientation uh, here. This is how most people represent um, the scale that's on your fretboard. You can see your strings G, C, E, and A, this being your A string or the one string. This is way too much information and it kind of overloads your senses. So the way I like to represent it is get rid of the sharps and flats. And so this is the chart that's in your beginning packet that you've already seen, hopefully. So again, you see the G, C, and A strings. And I do it this way because you already know that there's a sharp or flat in between when there's a blank, right? So there's a A sharp or B flat right here, and likewise a C sharp or D flat here. Just so you know, the numbers that you see here, either on the top or the bottom, are the frets that have the dots. So the dots help you get oriented on your fretboard very quickly. The other thing I want to point out is that once you get to the 12th fret, um, the notes repeat. So it's good to, if you count all the way up, you'll always get back to here. The other thing I want you to notice is that the notes are in alphabetical order. You go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. This is true for all the strings. If you go to this one, we just start in a different place, but you'll see you go E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, and they have the same gaps in between. So it's very convenient to know once you got started, you can count in that direction. Um, the So the term chromatic scale, I want to show you something. Where is it here? This is your chromatic scale, and it's the same information that's on your fretboard. What you're going to see is you go A, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, back to A, and it just goes in a circle because every time you go around, you're just changing octaves. And that's the same thing on your strings. If you went from A up to the 12th fret, you're starting a new octave. Some of you probably have frets beyond the 12th fret, and you're just going up. This will be A sharp, B, C on the neck on the higher frets. So I just want to put that concept out there. This is your chromatic scale. Um, so the other thing I would recommend you do, because it's easy to go from A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. It's easy to go in alphabetical order. It's useful to memorize how to go in the reverse direction. So you go A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A. Learn how to say, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, so that you can count backwards. And I'll give you a reason why. Let's stick with the A string since starts with A. If I said, hey, find me the G note on your A string, you could start with A and then go A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp. Oh, I found G. Okay, well, all right. That's kind of the long way because you know if you had started it at the 12th fret and just marched backwards, you could have found G in 2 steps. Or actually, you should have found G in 1. I'll talk about that in a minute. Um, so it's useful to learn to count or count backwards in the alphabet. Um, so the thing I want to point out as shortcut, because instead of counting the sharps and flats, just realize that most of the letters actually you have to jump 2 frets to get there, with the exception of B and C and E and F. There's only one step, right? So this is a step, this is a step, this is a step, this is a step. We call these half steps. So if you go 1 fret, that's a half step. If you go another fret, that's a half step. If I jump 2 frets, that's called a whole step. So from A to B, I'm taking a whole step, then a half step to C, whole step to D, whole step to E, half step to F, whole step to G, whole step to A. So go back to that first example where I said, hey, find the G string, the G note on the A string. You would just jump, you jump whole step to B, half step to C, whole step to D, whole step to E, half step to F, whole step to G. Or do it the smart way where you go, I'm going to start at the 12th fret and just jump 1 whole step down to G. So think half step and whole step. Those are also new terminology for you. So you just got 3 vocabulary words: chromatic scale and whole steps and half steps. We'll talk more later. Thank you. So just to summarize, the whole purpose of this video, one, is to introduce the terms chromatic scale, whole, and half step. But the real purpose or information you should be able to walk away from this video is you should, with the information I just gave you, find any note on any string if you had to. I gave you the one example of finding the G note on the A string. You should practice this on your own and without the chart. You can use the chart as to check your work. But for example, on the E string, you should be able to go E, F, half step, whole step to G. Oh, I found the G note, right? On the C, go whole step to D, whole step to E, half step to F, and then whole step to G. And you found the G string, or G note, sorry. On the G, you could step through the whole thing and find out you only have the G again on the 12th fret. So try that with other notes like B, C, notes that just try to do that and get in the habit. And also, you want to be able to get that feel for, yeah, A to B is a whole step, B to C is a half step. You kind of want to get that feel so you don't have to think about it. You can just jump. And also, it's a good exercise to try and work it backwards too. See if you can find, any given note starting at the 12th fret and working backwards. This skill, the more you use it, the easier it gets, but it's also extremely useful for some of the material I'm going to show you later. Okay, so that's it for now.